Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today again on this episode of the Good Side Podcast. Please join us every week as we talk about current events, relationship issues, and just about anything that concerns our life. We aim to highlight the positivity in the world, the goodness of God, and of course, the goodness in people. Whether it's a story, a person, or a situation, there is always some good to be found. I can never do this perfect, man. There's always something's gonna happen like wrong. Like today, I couldn't press the teleprompter.
Okay.
Anyway, hi. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. I'm good. I had to move that out of my my camera.
Your vision.
Yes, so I could see you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope everyone's having a great day. And today, like as I was telling you before we started the show, I think we have a very interesting topic this morning.
Yes.
And for you guys who are like joining us, have you ever? This is my question. Have you ever had an off day?
Yeah.
Have you ever had an off day, Ma?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Today is off. As
You
we
think
discussed.
so?
Yeah.
It is off.
Yeah, mine is a little off a bit today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's I have to share it because it's just really, first of all, if you are used to having a routine, every day, and then all of a sudden that routine got interrupted or disrupted or stopped, or blocked or whatever you may call it. All of a sudden you feel like you're lost, like you don't know what the next step is, like what to do,
How to get
right?
back on,
How to get
your
back.
steps.
How do you get exactly? How do you get to your next planned step?
Right.
So like this morning, well, I'm gonna backtrack. Last night, for some reason, my husband was feeling restless, and the dog too, right? So they both kept getting up, waking up, and I hear them like fussing. And of course, like every time they would make a move, I'll jump up and I'm like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I'll go, "What's wrong?" And then my husband will go, Nothing's wrong. Go back to sleep." So
Yeah, right.
I was like, "Okay, fine." Then in the middle of the night, my son wakes up and lays next to me, and then like immediately I'm like jumped up again, and I go, "What's going on? What's wrong? Why are you here?" And then of course he wouldn't answer. My son was half asleep, and then he would just lay next to me, and that's it. And then so like this morning, start the routine. It's a school day, so I wake up early. I get everybody's lunches ready, and I'm supposed to have an early breakfast meeting right after I drop off my son. So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna skip the coffee, and I'm gonna wait until I go to the breakfast meeting, and then I'll get my coffee then, right? Because it should be like a quick thing, because I drop him off and then go to the breakfast. So on the way to drop off my son to school, my mom calls me, and she goes, "Did you see the text?" And I said, "What text?" And he goes, "Well, we're rescheduling the appointment." I'm like, "Rescheduling?" She goes, "Did you answer?" I said, "Mom, I'm driving. I'm on my way to drop off my Jacob." And she goes, "Well, answer." And then, like, she was like pressuring me to answer while I was driving. I'm like, "Mom, did you not hear? I said I was driving." And then so I get it to a stoplight, and I just kind of glance at my phone, and then sure enough, the text is there, and it's like, okay, it's rescheduled to later on today, 12:30. So I said, okay, well,
wait a minute, you're here at 12:30.
I know, that's why I said
1 o'clock. Go ahead.
That's why I said I can't do 12:30. I said I can't do 12:30, and my mom said, "Well, answer and say you can't do 12:30." And so I answered. So anyway, long story short is like, so it already started off, right? So then all of a sudden, after I drop off my son, all of a sudden I found myself like with an open schedule, like an open time, because I blocked off from 9 o'clock to about 11:30 is what I blocked off to be in this meeting. So after dropping off, I'm like, okay, what do I do now? Like I was just thinking, okay, so maybe I should go to my office, or maybe I should call you, or I should, like, or maybe I can go get the car wash. Like, I have all these things running in my head
Yeah.
that I wanted to do just to kind of occupy that time.
That's the word you just used.
Yes.
We just talked about that on the last show too. Having so much on your plate, even though you had the time put aside for the amount of time that you had for the meeting and everything, there's so much on your plate that you have everything where it's like back to back to back. And if anything is removed from the plate, it leaves a vacant spot. That's a time to kind of just be still. Obviously, God wanted you to be still and let him consult with you.
Right.
But instead, you were trying to busy yourself and put something else in that spot.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
I was even thinking about, maybe I can call someone, and maybe that, that the long awaited meeting that I haven't gotten a chance to do is because I'm super busy. Maybe I can, like, fit it in this morning because I have a vacant, right? But the one thing about me with the way I am is, I always have this constant little conversations with God and myself. I'm like, Lord, okay, so Lord, what should I do? And, like, should I just sit here? Should I, so I was just asking. And then I felt like I should go home, right? So I'm like, okay, you know what? That might be a good idea. I'll go home and kind of like reset. That was in my mind, I was thinking, okay, this is off. I want to go back to my routine. And I'm going to go
your routine.
to my routine. So I'm going to go
boy.
back home. So I found myself driving back home. I don't really like going back home. Once I leave the house, I want to be on the go, like go, go, go. I want to just start my day. But because it's really just off, then I said, okay, maybe it's, it's a good time to just go home and just sit there and have a quiet time. Right. And so I get there, and I went upstairs, and then I just turn on my computer, and I'm like, okay, this is the best time to get some things done. So I sit there, and I was like, wow, I have never really been home in a long time at around that time. Like, it was so quiet, and so I felt so like warm, like at peace with the quietness. And I was just sitting there, and I was like, wow. And for the first time, I did not even feel like anxious about what I should be doing now that I'm here, now that I've turned on my computer and I'm sitting here. And I promise you, it's probably about maybe just 5 minutes, but it seemed like it was so long. And it actually rested my mind, and it made me still.
Have you ever thought about that? Was, again, you were trying to busy yourself. That's why you turned the computer on. Sometimes we're so busy busying ourselves that we miss that little quiet time, just the quiet time to breathe, to inhale, exhale, like when your sister was on the show and she did that breathing exercise with us. It even talks, a lot of times you can look, and I look at the things about breathing, and I told you I put this app on my phone because I realized I was doing the same thing. I was so busy that I'm not breathing. And on there, it has this little thing that goes across that you're to inhale, hold it till it gets to the top, exhale slowly until it gets.
Yes.
And I realized I wasn't breathing. And the key to that is when you're not breathing, do you not know that you're killing cells in your very brain?
Oh.
Yeah, you're killing yourself. Once you stop breathing, you're dead.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a situation where obviously you're being quickened to just stop and breathe. Take your son to school. Don't be dressed to go to work right away for a while, maybe the week. And take him to school, go back home, then get dressed in the quiet. You know what I mean?
And breathe. That would totally give me anxiety, Ma.
Oh my.
Because like I said, I don't like, because I live so far. And I always want to just be, once I leave the house, I'm ready to go for my day. And I
or
feel,
then go to the office.
I feel the
but don't
most
turn on the
productive.
computer right away, even. Especially when the day is disturbed.
Yes.
According to what we say, disturbed. Although it's nothing, everything is in timing. And again, like you said, when you leave the house and you want to stay gone, and when you find that things have been removed from your calendar, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And even if the Word of God says, when you don't know what to do, stop, stand still, don't do anything yet. Wait on me. Just wait. Can you spend a few minutes with me? If you think about even in a relationship, when you're with your mate and all you're doing is talking. Or the other hand, or he's just talking. Or the interruption of there's no conversation between the two of you. He's either watching the game or he's playing the game, and you're running around and you're in the kitchen, and it's just, we have the tendency to stay so busy that we talked about this too in our a few shows back. There's no relationship anywhere.
Yes. It's
like two people going in two different directions, but they're never meeting up.
Or two people going to the same direction, but never really acknowledging one or the other.
You can't be going in the same direction. No, you can't be in the same direction and not acknowledge each other or have a conversation. When one is doing something completely different from what you're doing, even if you're going in the same direction, there's got to be a line of communication. You know what I do love? When I was married, I used to love that we didn't say anything. We would just be with each other.
Yes.
And I used to tease him and was like, oh my God, you're not breathing deep. And he would be like, ooh, you're breathing too deep. You know what I mean? And it was funny because
we're just watching each other breathe.
Well, no, we would just be there, just being there. Because I used to carve out time. Like I told you, I used to do the mirror thing too. I was always looking for ways to strengthen the relationship between us. Because if the relationship between even just your husband and yourself, if there's no real relationship, you have nothing in common that you can talk about. He can't teach you something and you can't teach him anything. That's a very void, like what you're talking about now. It's a very void position. Have you ever thought about, you're so busy and you're busying yourself and your household is lacking, or you're lacking personally, your household.
Yes.
Because you're not getting your needs met.
Yes.
So you stay busy. You stay out of the house.
Yes.
That's scary.
Yeah.
With someone and still being alone. Ouch.
Yes. No, so that saying where you say, the difference between being alone and being lonely. Those are two different things. Because you can be with a whole bunch of people in a room and still be lonely.
Oh yeah. But you're still alone because you become an island to yourself.
Right. And still be lonely. And then, or you can be alone, but then you're happy.
Yeah.
Right. So like, to me, lonely is such a deep word.
Yeah.
And I have felt that in many times of my life. And it's really, it's hard to explain it in words. It's only other people who have experienced the same feeling as you can understand and recognize it and understand it. Because the loneliness, it's a really serious matter.
It's a lot of people, and that's the time of year that we're in too.
Yes.
They're talking about suicide and all of that, and going into the holidays where people can be in the room with 1 million people and still be alone, or with 1 million people and feel voided. You're non-existent, even though you're in the room.
Yeah.
But that's a time again when you stop, close your eyes, and just inhale, and then when you open your eyes, you realize that you put life into yourself. So then you can go and be El Presidente or whoever you are. You know what I mean? You're not just, I don't know. I don't run around a lot. You know that.
Yes.
I don't go out and run around unless there is a purpose. Because I want to live a purpose-driven life.
Purpose-driven life.
I
Yes.
want my movement to be a purpose, that it's going to cause some meaning for me. Yes, but I just was listening to this thing with Denzel Washington too, and he was saying on there, he says, if you feel like the devil's chasing you, don't think that's a bad thing. It's because you yourself are being anointed by the Lord, or that God has you on such an amazing path that he wants to kind of trip you up. And we've experienced the trip up.
Yes, absolutely.
Even when we were talking the other day on that show that we did, it was so strange that we kept saying, they said, what is the name of your guys' show? And you kept saying the good side. And then someone there said, well, I want to be the bad side. That's a stumbling block for me.
Right. And
why would you want to do that? Why would you want to change the atmosphere?
Absolutely.
That's what we were talking about.
And you remember, I think I even made a comment. I said, everywhere we go, not just that, Ma. Every conversation we have had about the show, when they ask us, what's the name of your show, and we say The Good Side, and then somebody always will say, well, I want to be the bad side.
It's like, what?
I'm like, what? Maybe we should change this to be good side, bad side.
No,
I don't know.
No. I prefer to be on the good side.
Yeah, but one thing though, Mom. So I was thinking, for people like me who always on the go, busy, and always have a lot of things on the plate. I feel like the one thing that always kind of throws us off is that like that downtime, right? Because you're so used to being busy, and you feel like if you're not doing anything, you're not being productive. Exactly. Or you're not being helpful, you're not paying attention, you're not. So, and in the Bible it said, don't worry about tomorrow, right?
It also said, don't be a busybody.
Don't be a busy, because it said, that's why I remember the scripture so badly, because it's one sentence, but it tells you so much. It says, don't worry about tomorrow, for today has enough on its own. And this is my own words, I'm paraphrasing. So don't worry about tomorrow, for today has enough of its own. Because it is so true. Yeah. Because so even if you have this downtime and you're thinking like, okay, well, I have this downtime, then you start thinking about, well, tomorrow is this, I have to do this. So then you're gonna go and get a head start. And I'm like, and then you're putting it back on where you should have been. Or
you want to take something off the schedule for tomorrow and put it on today. No,
yes.
No, yes. Don't do it. Yeah.
Yes. So it's and I read a lot of like self-help, motivational, and all that stuff. And a lot of these authors and these writers, they say the best thing to do to handle like your restlessness and being anxious is to be present in the moment. Yeah. Teach yourself to be present in the moment. Like, so if the moment is dead time and you're not doing anything, help yourself, or not even force yourself, but like just allow yourself to be present in the moment. So if the only thing you're doing is sitting in your car waiting for the light to turn green, just do that, and just do that. And
also the thing too is, like you just said, being present also, it could be just like you just said, you could be at a light. For me, that's still movement. That's too much movement. You asked me, have you been here for a while today? I got here early because I wanted that time, because I did, we usually don't know what we're going to talk about. We have an idea, or we have one word, but I'm waiting to find out what we always pray to and say, show us how to best represent you, never giving us to embarrass you. Let something we say be a blessing to someone or to each other. Sometimes we're so busy taking care of everything on the outside that our own inside is lacking.
Yes.
And that's the loneliness and stuff you're talking about. But when do we take time to breathe and just be with ourselves?
Oh, I don't even remember the last time.
Where's the mirror? Where's the mirror?
Yeah.
Where's your mirror?
It's my mirror.
Where's your mirror?
Oh, I have a mirror right here.
Yeah, I know. We talked about that. My mirror is here. My mirror is right here. You know.
Yes.
So that's part of it. Even the mirror in your car. They say don't look in the. You know, the best thing in the world is to never. Why are you walking through the world looking in your rearview mirror?
Right.
That's how people have accidents. They're looking at the rearview mirror and they run into the car in front of them. But if you were to be present, as you said, or in the moment, you can gaze up at it and look back down. But if you look straight ahead of you, there might be somebody that's walking through traffic, whatever. That's why here in Vegas, you hear a lot of people that get hit, run over, because they're trying to beat the light, or they're trying to whatever. Just they're not paying attention, and I just think the key today is we need to pay attention and be in the moment. Usually our words come.
Yes. I just had a random thought. I'm like, don't you think selfies are the best capture of your... Are you?
No.
To me, it is. Because, you know, like, if you ask someone, oh, can you take a picture of us, right? You ask someone else to do it, right? I don't know. Maybe it's an OCD thing that I have, whatever. But I always think like, oh man, are they really taking like the right angle? Is it like
I know you kill me with that.
Are they able to capture?
You make me crazy.
It's also
is this my good side. This is not my good side.
No, because it's also kind of like in my line of work, right? Because in the newspaper, we kind of like, you know, we're looking for those certain angles that will look right when you're reading the paper, right? So those things, I learned that, you know, throughout the years. But I always have this slight anxiety a little bit when I ask someone to take, especially if you ask a stranger to take your picture, because you don't really see it until after the picture's taken. But if you do, listen, but if you do take a selfie, or what they call groupie, no, groupie. I think that's what they call it. Well, you know, you take a selfie with other people. A groupie.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
So when you take a selfie and you turn, so you use your phone and you turn the camera facing you, and you can see exactly, you know, what it looked like. So you can like bigger smile, smaller smile. You know?
Now, see, that's it. That's the part. Okay, Filipinos take, so many selfies. It's so hilarious
to
me.
Oh my gosh. We have all the gadgets too.
Yeah, you got all the gadgets and stuff. For me, like, the reason I kind of don't like selfies, because then I am trying to play to the camera. Like, even when we're here, I watch you occasionally, you're looking at the...
I know, because
me, I'm just like, yeah, right. But you're already here. You have arrived. So whatever shows up, right. It is what it is. You can look at as many pictures as you want. You can take as many selfies as you want to. And even in that, I watch how you get, especially you get distracted. You're like, oh my... You're flipping your hair, and then you're... I cannot
believe it. Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
And start looking at your picture, and then there's a certain smile, you know.
Yes.
But the thing is, doing the selfie, you're still creating something else that you're not. That's like using AI to take pictures, and that's done too. People take the pictures and they turn around and edit it and put all these filters and stuff.
Those I
can't
do.
You don't look like the filter when you get.
I can't do. You know, I can't do those now because I meet people in person, and if I filter my pictures so much and they see me and it goes, whoa, like it'll be like, is that you?
There's a lot of them.
How old was your picture?
That's a lot of the things that's the other reason I don't like selfies, because I've met people, they send you that, like you see mine, my pictures, I make sure look just like me. I don't filter them. I might go on and edit, you know, to close it in and get the tight shot or something. But when people are now so busy with all these filters and falters, by the time you meet those people, the nose is different, the lips are and you say, who is this masked man? So I don't know. I'm not a selfie happy person to do so. If you notice, whenever you guys do them, I kind of go to the back. It's like, oh my God, because everybody's like, wait, man, you're tall, you're short. Oh, I don't want my hips to show. We just were talking about that too. I don't want my stomach to show. Well, when you get off the camera and they meet you, your stomach's gonna be there.
Right.
So just be on the good side of who you are.
I was trying to look so today, because of this off day, I was trying to look for this article that I found when because again with the downtime, right? So I was like,
she googled.
So like I googled what to do. I googled what to do when you're having an off day in business.
Right.
So I looked at it and I can't see it now for the life of me.
But
I
the other
can't.
part is it wasn't business. What do you do when you have an
wasn't-
off? Wait a minute, off time in business.
Wait, off
The
time in
business you were okay. You just said Googled.
I Googled.
What do you do when you have an off time in business?
Yes.
What did they say? Stand still.
No, that's actually different. No, so no, my question was to Google was what do you do when you're having an off day? But you know how sometimes Google gives you suggestions like
Yeah,
with people.
yeah. It gave
So
you a book.
it added in business. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So I click on that.
Oh,
That's
God.
the first one.
Yeah.
And this blogger said like, yeah, you know, sometimes you come in the office, the copier is not working, you can't download the attachment and the emails this and blah, blah, blah. So everything's just not working properly, right? So that's an off day in business. So this writer was suggesting there was three things that three advice that he was giving everybody. So the first one I wrote down, he says, get out of the office.
Yeah.
So as soon as you walk in, as soon as you get you're experiencing all of that chaotic like off moments, get out of the office. And he said, step out of your office and kind of walk for a little bit outside, get some fresh air, kind of clear your mind, like admire if there are birds over there, if the cars are driving, maybe count the
Kind of like what we talked about
Yeah.
last week, finding the joy.
finding
Go on.
the joy in the moment. So just kind of like just distract your mind.
No,
you
not
know,
distract it. Clear it.
clear it
Go,
I
clear
mean,
it.
in me that would be to clear my mind I have to distract my mind. So anyway, so the second thing said
Gosh.
work on something else. So let's say you're trying to type up this email, right? You're trying to type up this email and it's a very, very important email, whether maybe it's a proposal, it's a, you know, or an answer to a question, something like that. And you just can't, you're getting a, what do you call it?
Blank.
Writer's block. And you just
Drawing a blank.
you can't answer it. So it says do something else. So maybe, you know, I think it's also best that's the time to get up, maybe get a cup of coffee, get water, go pee, you know, like, and just, you know, just kind of like just something else, like, again, to clear your mind, right? So then the third thing he said is if still copier is still not working, the printer is not printing and everything is just a mess, he said leave for the day, just call it a day.
Yeah.
And go home. Well, for most of us who works
who
works for an employer, we just can't leave the day or else we'll be fired, right?
But you can leave. You know, again, you can't leave for the entire day, but
Right.
you can leave mentally. I know I can.
Oh, I don't know how to do that.
Oh well, I'll train you because I know
have
how
to close
be.
my eyes.
Yeah, well, that too. But again, I can sit like what we're doing right now. If we've been talking and I'm looking right in front of me, and if it's not working, if things you look at when we first started this whole conversation now.
Yes.
When we first started, if you look at it, you were doing all talking because it wasn't time for me.
Right.
And it wasn't that blank space for me gave me time to inhale and prepare for when whatever came out of my mouth was going to be fruitful. You know, instead of just moving, shifting.
Do you remember when we were waiting out in the hallway for our turn and be like, what do you think, Ma? What do you think? What's your opinion? I was throwing you all these questions and you just look at me as usual with this like, okay. Like you,
Hold on,
you just look at me and I'm like, what?
And then you turned around and you said, did I lock the car? I said, I don't know, go check. So when I told you to go check the car to see if it was locked or not, I heard you lock the car. But the fact was still, there was that little space that you couldn't put nothing else in there. You had to go down and check your car.
Oh my gosh. You see, this is looking back at all my actions. I think I'm a funny person, really.
Well, that's good. I mean, you know what? Self-humor is amazing.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
Beautiful. But the other part of that is, again, we're going to go back to the very top now. When your day is off, stop and be still a minute. Let everything catch up. You know, what does it say? God, even God said, "Be still and know that I'm a God." He didn't say, "Be still and keep moving." Also, the scripture. I love Psalms 23. Yea, though I walk through the valley of death, I will fear no evil. He didn't say, "Get in there, get a happy hat, and the little birthday things, and stay in there. He said, yea, though you walk through.
Keep walking.
Keep going. Stop standing still and looking for to put something else on your plate. No,
just keep going. Yes.
And then once you keep the movement going, like today, when you were doing all the talking and everything that was going on, and then you were like, so what do you think? Why? That you're my why kid. I'm sorry. Who would win? Well, why not? Why, Mom? Why? Okay.
I know.
And I always tell you, okay, I let you go, and then I'm going. I just have to look at you and I say, because I'm not supposed to give you the answer.
That's why I invited you to join me on this show, because I don't think I can talk on my own by myself for a whole 30 minutes.
Yeah, you can. You did.
I have to have a conversation, and I have to be able to ask another person why.
Okay. That's when you pull the mirror back out we were talking about. And when you're looking in the mirror, you're speaking to another person, but you're also you're entertaining your own
Absolutely. Self. Yes. So see
wow.
all those questions that I said and made this all the way. And well, we're done.
Why?
Done for this episode. But you know what? The last thing, this one I added. So he only gave three advice. My last advice, this one I added. So I said, my advice is, I said, call a friend. Because especially if you have a friend that always gives you a good conversation, like it gives you not, again, I'm gonna say distract, but just perk up your your mood, and just, I think for me to be able to tell someone else what I'm going through, it's like therapy to me. And I know a lot of us, we go through the same thing, and sometimes you just want to, even if you just talk to a stranger in the grocery store, and you just happen to be like, hey, how's it going? And then the other guy says, hey, good, how are you? Even with that, because you'll feel it in your heart, in your spirit, that there may be a follow-up statement after that. Hi, how's it going? Kind of thing. So
can I just interject one thing? When we did that show the other day, I think the funniest thing is, because we were discussing, it was a question that was posed to us. Is this a holy thing? Is this a church thing?
Oh yeah, is this a church thing?
Yeah.
Do you just talk about Jesus?
Yeah. And you see, I told you, I said, give me a minute, hold on.
Yes.
I said that we have to be able to speak a language that even a child could understand.
Yes.
And even when Jesus would talk, he said, first of all, have the mindset of a child. You know what I mean? Come to me like a baby. If you think about children, when they come to you, they're wide-eyed, they're looking for you even to smile or to. So when that was posed to us, anybody else would have got offended, because to me that was rude,
right?
Because you heard what we were doing. We were doing anything that we do. We always say we're going to incorporate God, because first of all, we live spiritually and we live physically. You can't, in our culture, they say, don't be so heavenly, you're no earthly good.
Right.
If I can't say something to help someone else, we're supposed to be the hospital. We're the doctor.
Right.
We're supposed to at least know the scriptures. We even put scriptures out and they couldn't answer them. But anyway, but
they don't get it.
Yeah, they didn't get it. The bottom line being is that once you see that you're able to say something that someone else that might be going through a horrible day, because we're on the good side, they wanted to be on the bad side. See, that was very prominent for me. But the whole thing is to be able to say something that'll bless someone, lift their spirit. If they're having a bad day, just a smile, it can make such a difference.
Right. And it doesn't have to be, you
don't have to be
basically.
Jesus-fied, basically.
And you don't have to get the whole entire show.
No,
it could be just one word, one sentence, and for us, that's an achievement already.
Absolutely.
And anything that you can relate to, I feel like we've done our job, and we've glorified God. Like we've done what we needed to do, that God wanted us to do. So that brings us to the end of the show.
Remember, though, always remember, we are ambassadors.
Yes.
And if you're an ambassador
all
to
of us are.
Yeah. If you're an ambassador to the United States or the Philippines or whoever, your opinion doesn't matter. You're representing that country.
Absolutely.
So there you go.
Absolutely.
We're representing a country.
We're representing. Yes. We're representing. So Okay, and that is the end of our show. It has been a great experience sharing this podcast with you. Once again, we hope we have inspired you and made your day better.
Yes.
We will have a new episode, of course, every week. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Just type The Good Side Found.
Yes.
Changed it. And remember, an act of good will always be rewarded, and a good gesture is always appreciated. This is your host, Liezel.
And Susan McDonald.
Yes, wishing that you have a great week ahead. God bless you, and join us again soon on The Good Side.
Yay.